How's it going, everybody? So, today I decided I was gonna do a setup video. Because why not?
You're gonna make me get
Hey,
the pepper spray.
hey,
Just shut up.
shut up. Alright? Shut up. Alright. So, we'll start with the build. That's what the build looks like. This is the nurse build. We're gonna do two. We're gonna do my nurse build, and we're gonna do the crush build. My other crush, the crush, whatever you want to call it. So, this is, you can use this in single player, multiplayer, whatever. It's generally a build you can go in and out of multiplayer and single player and not have to change builds. It's seamless like that, I guess, quote unquote. Sweet release, because sweet release, pretty good. Restoration, I normally use this for max health. People say that it's useless, that healing bullets. However, it is not useless because you get 9 out of 5 from the Angelic Nurse Com, bringing it to 54% of the damage into healing. And it's not useless. 10 out of 5, elated. So when you have an enemy phase locked, regenerate your health. 10% of my health per second. Okay. Now here's the way healing works. With elated, it goes based off of your health. With this build, as you can see, my health is at 480,000. That's with this. It's 37,000. I mean, a lot of people have about 100,000 by now, and getting up to 100,000, you have about these stats. This is my game glitched, and that happened. So anyway, you got about 480,000 health. Okay, now you can regenerate about 100,000 health every 1.2 seconds to 1.5 seconds, depending. And so when your teammates are getting healed with you, it goes based off of that. So let's say somebody's playing like Man of Lomo Fiber, for example, is playing with Badass Rank Off. He's got about 154,000 health. You're going to heal him to full health in no time. And you'll be able to keep him healed because it's going off of your health. Health gating with Nurse doesn't matter because the more health you have, the faster you and your team regenerate health. Well, I guess you kind of regenerated at the same percent no matter what. But your team, it differentiates between your team. So if you want to play an effective Nurse, I guess, have your team have the lowest possible health. Have everybody wear like hoplites or some shit, or turtle shields, because then elated is really going to take effect. Res, for obvious reasons. Sustenance, a lot of people don't like sustenance, they prefer life tap. I like passive health regeneration, and it helps keep me alive. Life tap is a great skill, but like I said, I prefer sustenance. You can skip sustenance and go for life tap if you want. This is an on-kill skill. I like this because this is constantly. So if you're fighting or nursing during a raid boss, let's say, you'll keep regenerating health. And generally this will be your lifeline instead of elated. And this has actually really powerful health regeneration, coupled with your nurse comm. And I guess Scorn, because slag. Accelerate bullet damage and bullet speed. It's good for healing and killing. Shield capacity and shield recharge delay. It's really good for, let's say, the evolution. You need as much damage resistance as you can get with Nurse. Suspension, because you're going to need all the healing time in the entire world, and it's great. It's awesome. Converge, because there's nothing like phase locking a group of enemies, and then or phase locking an enemy, and then pulling everyone towards them. Excuse me. I'm tired, just worked like 12 hours today. And then pulling everybody towards you, releasing a scorn ball, and then like Norfleeting him. It's great. That and subsequence, because subsequence. Other than this, because magazine size and reload speed is awesome. The gear I use with this is a Maggie. That's like your main source of DPS outside of the Butcher. These two are your main sources of DPS. This is a good source of DPS as well, especially for really fleshy targets or things that are weak to fire. And this is just because second wins. Evolution Shield is great. I farmed before they made this shit drop from fucking Hyperius. I farmed the vendor for ages to get a proper one that had a balanced shield and a balanced max health. So if you can find one like this, 78% elemental resistance is good, recharge delay is good, recharge rates, but the health and the capacity is so balanced. It's freaking phenomenal. Like, it's awesome. I prefer Angelic Nurse class mod. A lot of people prefer, I think it's Heavenly Nurse because it gives 10 Sweet Release Orbs. However, sometimes there will be like an enemy that you won't kill in a single phase lock, such as, let's say, an Ultimate Badass. So Elated actually plays a bigger part in a nurse role, I find. Again, you can do what you want. And yeah. And so we have Blood of the Ancients. This is a max stat one. Took me ages to farm the loot images for. 54.4% max health, which is great, right? Because, you know, the whole elated healing thing. SMG ammo and shotgun max ammo. This is great because I can use this, and let's say I have like the Florentine. If I'm not going to be doing a lot of DPS, these are mainly for like, you know, single player to 2, maybe 3 player. But in 4 player, your DPS is going to really suffer, and you're just going to mainly be playing a support role, which is where a lot of these come in. This is great for healing, and so is this, and the Maggie. And this is good for whatever else, just looking cool, I guess. So it's great capacity, and Stormfront, because Stormfront is great, and it's amazing, and I love it. The 4th slot is your interchangeable. I keep these 3 constant. This I usually swap between this, or the Florentine, or like if I need a corrosive weapon, I can go like the Leuta or the Hornet or whatever else. It depends on what you want. So now we will go spec into my Crush build. And I haven't seen a build relatively close to this. This is my sniping build, really. Foresight, because magazine and reload speed, clearly. I take up Immolate because you need to get to Ruin, pretty much. Chain Reaction, because Chain Reaction. Reaper. I usually take Flicker, because Shock, Corrosive, Slag, Guns. It's just to get to Ruin. Here, though, is where it kind of differentiates from a lot of people, because a lot of people go down Motion and get Converge. However, I like to survive in my builds. So I'll usually take Mind's Eye for the critical hit damage, Wreck for increased fire rate, Restoration for increased health, and then just a Sustenance only. Because I like having a constant health regeneration. It will help you survive. A lot of people are like, Sustenance sucks, but it's such a great skill. They don't realize. And then I usually just stick it into here. I mean, a lot of people like Kinetic Reflection. It's great with a sniper build. You're generally going to be hanging back. For my first sniper, I usually go the Pitchfork. And for the second one is usually the Volcano. The third one is usually the Leuta. On the 4th one, and yes,
pros and cons to each.
Shut up, Maya. Yes, this is actually a legit Cobra. The other ones on my other characters are either A, copies of this one, or constructed because I was lazy, and the Cobra is so hard to get. But this Cobra is an actual legit. I got it at the end of the beatdown. Anybody can say, no proof, no video, you're a fucking liar. That's great. That's fine. You can, yeah, great. I usually run Legendary Siren class mod for the gun damage and cooldown rate for Phase Lock if you're going to be using Phase Lock. I don't use Phase Lock that much with this build. I don't personally need it.
Tough decision.
You might. And then I use Sniper Rifle damage. And this, it's usually a toss-up between the antagonist because it helps Slag too. And it's got a huge shield capacity, and you don't really need the B shield for sniping in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. Just saying, I have videos on it. Or the B for that needed DPS boost for whatever reason or another. So there's that, or the antagonist. You can even keep the evolution on if you want. I just like the antagonist because it's got some damage reduction. Deflected bullet chance. It's got a good recharge rate, recharge delay, and it's got an insanely high capacity with Maya. Like 200 and some thousand. Wasn't it like 276? Yeah. But with Maya, with skills and badass rank, is clearly way above that. At almost 100,000 capacity more. So those are the two builds I use on a pretty regular basis. I normally use the nurse build. And yeah, I usually use the nurse build more. But it's whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed Stormfront. Because Stormfront. And hope it kind of informed you as to why I generally pick skills that I pick. And they're effective. So, we'll see you guys later. Peace out.